Gabriela Venturo here. Today we are here at City Hall interviewing the city manager, Ron Bradley. Thanks for having us today.
It's my pleasure.
Great. Okay, so Ron here is going to explain his experience as city manager, as well as answer some of the concerns we all have as city residents here in Menifee. All right, so first question being, so we're going to talk about where's the city as far as development is concerned?
Well, as you know, the city is only 8 years old. There's 46 square miles out here. Right now, the city has over 120 development applications going through the process. The staff is working as hard and as fast as they can to bring these projects to the point where they can be reviewed by the Planning Commission, the City Council, and decisions made on the project itself.
All right, Ron, so can you tell us your experience as city manager?
Well, this is the 7th city I've actually been a manager in. 3 permanent full-time managers, and I did the startup city of Laguna Hills and put it together. That was sort of Government 101A fun.
Right.
Then I've been the interim manager in Murrieta, Hemet, and now Menifee.
Interesting. So can I ask why Menifee? You said you came from Murrieta and Hemet, so obviously very local, but is there something that interests you in Menifee?
Yes, I live in Temecula and
Okay.
have since the early 90s when I went to work for the city of Temecula. And I've been watching what's going on in Menifee ever since its incorporation. And when this opportunity came up and the city contacted me and asked me if I'd be interested, and I definitely was. There are other advantages.
Of course.
I've had jobs where I traveled a lot.
Right.
I don't like it. I can drive up here early in the morning without a lot of trouble. I live 20 minutes away. So it's an easy commute for me. And that was sort of the icing on the cake, because I like new cities with all the opportunities that come with them.
Yeah.
And I'm just delighted to be here.
Great. So just real quick, I want to touch on that last comment that you just made about the new city. While we were chatting before we started our interview, you said something about 120 applicants trying to apply to the city, which I think is huge, considering you said that has really never happened before.
No, and that's a new experience, and it's one that in a city, a new city that's growing, you come to expect. I've managed cities that were over 100 years old, that we didn't have that many applicants in 5 or 6 years coming through our development process.
Yeah.
We had much less available area to develop. For instance, Temecula is 85% developed.
Wow, yeah.
That makes it a much different set of circumstances for development to occur.
Right. So Ron, we just mentioned 120 applicants or projects are trying to apply here and become a part of the city of Menifee. How do you weed out which ones are going to be, you know, a good thing to the city, or the ones that are bad, or do we have too many of those?
That's a good question, because it actually starts with the city's general plan. What the city fathers, in their wisdom, starting out said, this is what we want the city to look like.
Okay.
We want this particular type of operation in this particular quadrant or section or area. And from that, you go to the general plan, and then applicants will talk about specific plans that actually describe the type of project they want. You have zoning, and then the code restrictions that go with that. So when an applicant comes through and presents an application for development, they've got to meet the criteria that's already lined up. They know where they're going. Some of the applicants want to make a change to zone, for instance. That's a whole process.
Right.
It's not, you can do it, but it takes longer, and it's more time intensive. If they can present a good case, and the Planning Commission agrees, and the City Council agrees, the application goes forward.
Okay.
Sometimes the Planning Commission doesn't agree.
Yeah.
And sometimes the council doesn't agree with the Planning Commission.
Right.
And that's why this size of government, local government, works so well, because we're the government closest to the people that respond on a daily basis to what the people want that live here.
Right. Makes sense.
Well, I think so.
So one of our biggest concerns, I think, from fans on Facebook was construction. We're seeing additional traffic, we're seeing potholes, and now, due to all the wet weather, I'm sure a lot of those conditions have been made a lot worse. So as far as construction is concerned, how is the city dealing with these issues?
Well, first of all, the weather's always with us.
Exactly.
And so we're forced in city government to always deal with that. It changes our priorities. With all of the activity going on in Menifee today, we have more heavy trucks on our roads. We have just growing traffic needs as we get more people moving into the area.
Right.
That puts a greater stress on the existing infrastructure. So what happens when we develop new potholes as a result of the rain, because that water gets into the underlayment and causes a problem? City crews are pulled off of some of the projects they're working on and sent out with cold patch trucks, where we're just doing a cold patch of a pothole until we can get the hot patch truck out there, and then eventually do an overlayment on the road whenever it's qualified.
Right.
The city has a pavement management program that prioritizes every street about when we should take certain activities. The weather or a major disaster like an earthquake or a fire or flooding can change all of those priorities. And we operate day to day from that point on. We try to get back on track as fast as we can, but we've got to deal with the existing conditions that are there.
Yeah, and I think that's what some people have a hard time understanding is there's traffic, it's a new city, people want to be a part of that, which we should be honored and be welcoming. And like you said, weather, we have no control over, and we can only do one thing at a time, right?
Right. Well, we've been in a drought, so we haven't had to deal. With
California doesn't know rain. What do we do with it?
If you look what's going on back east, that's rain.
Exactly.
That's weather condition.
Right, yeah. Not our drizzle we're having here. So Ron, a lot of people are concerned about the changes Menifee are having, some positive, some negative, but I think a lot of us are, since Menifee's new, we're afraid of the big city changes. So to ease our mind as well as our viewers' mind, can you kind of give us an insight on what's going on inside and outside of the city?
I'd be happy to. First of all, it's not unusual when a new city incorporates, you go from sort of a rural lifestyle to more concentrated development. And you have the concentrated development because a city to operate needs revenue. That revenue for the most part comes from sales tax and property tax, but sales tax is the big driver. People incorporate because they want closer local control than they get when they're in the county, and they want to be able to meet and talk face to face with their elected officials.
Absolutely.
They like to come into a local city hall and stand at the counter and express their concerns, their beliefs, their desires, and we listen.
Absolutely.
And we try and react to that in our day-to-day activities, and that information we pass along to the elected officials. As the city grows, traffic is going to increase. Now that's a good news, bad news situation.
Right.
The good news is, the city's growing. We're receiving more tax revenue, more property, more sales tax, but also we've got more customers on the road, so that increases the traffic, increases demand on the maintenance of the road, streets, highways, bridges, everything. So
it's a cycle.
Everything is related there, and the decision that was made when the people of Menifee voted to incorporate, that's where the majority of them said they wanted to go. So the job of staff is to minimize the difficulties as much as we can, and that's what we're dedicated to here.
Great.
You were asking about the issues about what's going on here with staff and with the elected official.
Because there's a lot of change.
There's been a lot of change, and change is hard for everybody. My job is to try and make it as easy on everybody as possible. And I have to start, of course, with the city staff to get us all on the same page, to make them as excited about coming to work every day as I am. I've been doing this a long time, and I thoroughly enjoy it. We provide a service. That's all we are. We are a service organization. I want us to be the best service organization in this county, in this state, anywhere, and that's a goal.
That's very encouraging. Yeah.
Well, and I sort of insist on it with the staffs. I met with all of the staff when I first came here, my first couple of days, and I said, this is what you can expect from me. This is what I expect from you.
Yeah.
I told them what I thought the things, the deadly sins that would create career suicide would be if you're working for me. And
that's, hey, you're open. It's great.
They understand what they are.
Great.
We will do everything we can to satisfy the needs of the people that live here as expressed through the council.
Right.
Now, you got to understand not everybody agrees what those needs should be.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. You can't.
We take direction from the elected officials who take direction from the public at large. So when anybody comes to City Hall with a problem, I expect that problem to be responded to be answered. We're not going to make everybody happy because, let me tell you, I've had to tell a lot of people no in my career. But it may be against the law, it may be against policy, it may be just unethical or just impossible because we don't have the funding. And Menifee funding is a big issue and always has been.
Yeah. Okay. Well, kind of piggybacking off of that, going off what you said, you seem assertive in all the right ways. Can't make everybody happy. It's hard to please as many people as we have in the city. So do you ever feel like you're in the hot seat for that reason? A lot of people come to you and say, why is there traffic? Why is there construction? And do you ever feel like you have that pressure?
No, I can honestly say, well, yes, there's pressure.
Right.
But do I feel I'm in the hot seat? No, but this is what I like to do. And I'm really proud to be a city manager. There's over 30,000 cities, villages, and towns in this country. There's about 6,600 city managers, so we're pretty small, compact profession. Now, unfortunately, lately we've had some real disappointments like Bell and Beaumont, things like that. I'm not proud of, but by and large, we're in the service business, and that's our goal.
Yeah, serving the people.
Yes.
Menifee Buzz. Well, there you have it. That was our exclusive interview with Mr. Ron Bradley. Seems like a very personable guy, very transparent, invited us all to come down with your questions and concerns, didn't hesitate about that opportunity. Seems like Menifee's really on its way. He has the experience we need in this city, which is great. He answered all of our questions without hesitation and like we hope to. So again, we hope to see him around the city more often, and we're really looking forward to seeing the changes Menifee has to offer. To read this article in full, as well as to see our full video coverage, head over to menifeebuzz.com.